NFL free agency does not exactly end this time of year. In fact, the beginning of notable roster cuts actually balloons the market again. For example, the Cincinnati Bengals clear up cap space recently by cutting defensive tackle Brandon Thompson, only to see the rival Cleveland Browns turn right around and pick him up. According to NFL Network, is in a report, while the free agent market this time of year could never match the gate opening frenzy, cut days have a way of reigniting the flame, as teams keep an eye out to see what leaks to market before making further moves to help stay ahead of the game. Here is a look at some of the bigger names still on the open market. Tyson Jackson. Esquire Getty Images. Tyson Jackson is a good example of how the late summer market can reignite interest in a veteran. The Atlanta Falcons decided to part ways with the subtract-year-old defensive lineman in March. While he is not the biggest name anymore, the former some pick there is an easy detail to forget, is still a quality name who manages to stir up a buzz this time of year. Jackson lost his gig in Atlanta as a cap-saving measure, and because he has a run-stuffing presence these days, which there is certainly a market for despite the league is pass heavyweights. The report noted one team with an interest in the veteran. The San Francisco 49ers actually seem like the ideal fit for Jackson. New head coach Kyle Shanahan knows about the veteran and what he brings to the table after their time in Atlanta together, and there is nothing wrong with boasting quality depth to help bring along a rookie talent like Solomon Thomas. Jackson will need to show up ready to compete, though he will be fighting for a job behind names like Eric Armstead and DeForest Buckner and others, such as Aaron Lynch, on a team where every job is up for grabs in the middle of a serious rebuild. Granted, the market could pick up and other teams could enter the fray, knowing a sort of domino effect, but for Jackson, taking the mantle and the depth role suits him as his career winds down. Prediction: Jackson signs with the 49ers. Desmond Bryant. George Goldfish. Getty Images. Desmond Bryant, on the other hand, is a great example of the situation mentioned in the introduction. The Browns gave the subtract-year-old lineman the boot to make room for the Thompson signing, which was not hard to see coming because he missed all of last year with a chest injury and cost the team more than they were willing to pay. But Bryant will not sit long on the market. He is seeing extensive snaps this preseason, and playing with backups or not, he is shown he has something to offer teams. In the same way Jackson does, plenty of teams will have an interest in this situation, even if the market for defensive linemen does feel saturated right now. Of the notable teams in need of depth along the offensive trenches, the Detroit Lions stand out. In Detroit, CBNC sits on the physically unable to perform list, and the line could use some reinforcements in the interim. Keep in mind the front continues to age with guys like Halliday in autumn there as well, so adding quality depth to the rotation is a win for all. For Bryant, it is a chance to keep playing without having to relocate far. He will have plenty of phone calls here soon, but if it's off transition and the playing are big factors, Detroit makes sense. Prediction: Bryant signs with the Lions. In Kaepernick. Theory. W. Henderson. Getty Images. Fans only need one guess to figure out who the most notable free agent is. Colin Kaepernick. Immense on the market for a multitude of reasons, though strictly from an on-field standpoint, he is a career 59.8% passer, with 72 touchdowns against 30 interceptions to his name, with another 13 scores as a rusher. Kaepernick had a so campaign a year ago, throwing for 241 yards and 16 touchdowns against 4 interceptions. Of course, the team around him was miserable, so it is hard to pile on too much one players with lesser outright playing time over the past 2 years, like Mike Glennon crashed in $45 million deals. Former teammate Alex Smith is one player who is confused with Kaepernick still sitting on the market. Crazy to think he is not playing yet. That's a crazy thing. As good as he was playing, young, strong, I felt like he had a long career ahead of him. Crazy that at this point he is out of a job, Smith said. According to the Kansas City Star, is Sam Mellinger, bold predictions for 2016 2017 NFL season where Matt Ryan be a top 5 QB in 2017, where Marshall bounced back for fantasy owners in 2017, which overvalued a BS should you avoid? Why you should target Kenyon Drake as a late round sleeper? Which value QBs should fantasy owners target late? Which NFL superstar should you take? 景一英寸 fantasy drafts. Happy birthday to the greatest QB of all time. Tom Brady from tries to touchdowns. Former English rugby star is set to take on NFL top storylines to watch for in NFL training camp 2017. Eagles players B. O. Allen and Jason Kelce surprise local HS with BBQ no combine, no crime. Bob Marley is grandson signs an NFL contract with Redskins insider buzz. Several NFL coaches annoyed over changes to overtime. Giants deal Damon attempts to eat subtract on stick insider buzz. Dolphins expect a big role for rookie day insider buzz. Bills expanding GM search insider buzz. Bengals taking serious hit for Knicks and pick winners and the losers of the 2017 NFL draft winners and the losers of the 2017 NFL draft day 2 insider buzz. Jaguars may not use option on Bortles right arrow icon still. The NFL has a quarterback problem right now, and in that sense, it is hard to imagine a former Super Bowl quarterback under the age of 36 on the open market much longer. Teams like the Dallas Cowboys have problems with depth, and teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars have a problem with status. To point out 2 examples, if a team like Jacksonville wants to win games, bringing on Kaepernick is not the worst idea in the world. The team has worked hard to rebuild the defensive side of the ball with names like Malik Jackson and Jalen Ramsey. Yet the offensive side flounders as Blake Bortles struggles to do something as simple as throwing with consistent mechanics. At worst, Tom Coughlin and the Jaguars could link Kaepernick to a deal and get him on the field at some point during the regular season. If the Bortles-Shanahan combo does not help the team continue the turn to Predictions, Kaepernick signs with the Jaguars stats, courtesy of NFL.com.